124 recommendations for improvements made by the Richmond Auditor's Office to a variety of departments are overdue. That's according to a new report issued by the Office of the City Auditor on November 20th, as in city leadership gave itself a targeted completion date to implement the recommendation, and they have not done it. The oldest overdue recommendation dates back to March of 2020. Although the city auditor does not have the authority to force the administration to make the suggested changes, we asked Mayor Danny Avula and 1st District Councilman Andrew Breton whether they expect recommendations to be implemented by their target dates. Should they be closed by the target date that the administration has set? Is that your expectation?
Yeah, I think a lot of those things, obviously that's the goal, right? The goal is that we work with the auditor, we try to set a target date, and then sometimes we get into the fixes and find out, oh, this is going to take more of a financial investment, or this is going to take a longer runway. And so we work with the auditor to revise those dates.
What do you think the expectation should be in terms of hitting that target completion date for the recommendations?
So I actually think that the administration is maybe being a little too optimistic and ambitious with their completion dates. Now, that's a really good sign. I think it means they really care about closing these and they really want to close these. But the fact that they might not always hit their targets, I think is understandable.
The three departments with the largest number of overdue recommendations: Finance at 28, Public Utilities at 19, and Procurement Services at 14.
No one is going to be surprised to hear that there are a lot of open issues in the Finance Department. We know that. We have new leadership there. We have a new department head and a new DCAO in that department as well. So we should expect to see a higher velocity of tickets closing there in time.
Among the overdue recommendations, the city's chief administrative officer should develop and implement a spending policy to clarify the appropriate use of public funds for non-essential purchases. The Richmond retirement system should establish and implement a formal process to improve the identification and verification of deceased retirees, determine the total amount overpaid to deceased retirees and still uncollected, and investigate potentially fraudulent activity and report any findings to appropriate oversight organizations. And the city's director of finance should refund erroneously assessed interests on individual personal property tax bills from the summer of 2022.
Do you think there should be more urgency on something like that, refunding a mistake to taxpayers?
I think with each single department, we would have to have a hearing with that department head to find out what's holding up that issue. Like, there are so many issues in this city, and what this conversation allows us to do is to make sure that on an individual department basis, they can come back and report on that progress.
Speaking of progress, the mayor and councilman both highlighted how the city actually closed more recommendations this quarter than any quarter before under the current auditor.
What I'm most proud of in this first year is really changing the culture within City Hall around how we see the auditor and how we understand the auditor is actually a very helpful tool for us to get better and better as an operation.
Between June and October of this year, the city did close 31 audit recommendations. The majority of those were with the Department of Public Utilities. To view the entirety of the auditor's report, visit this story on our website, WTVR.com. In Richmond, I'm Melissa Hippolyte for CBS 6.